Thanks for listening to the Thyroid Fixer podcast with your host, me, Dr. Amie Hornaman, aka the Thyroid Fixer. Also, functional medicine practitioner, hormone and weight loss expert. We're talking all things thyroid, hormone, and health related in order to empower, educate, and transform you. Remember, I fix your thyroid, I fix your hormones, I fix your life. So let's get started. Metformin and Berberine to heal your gut, anti-age you, stave off wrinkles, stave off cancer, and help you lose weight. So this is going to be a game changer for you, and you can probably hear the excitement in my voice. The latest introduction, the latest member of the family to the Fixer line is Metabolism Fixer. And this, oh my God, I formulated this just for all my people out there that need to lose weight, that need help in the weight loss department, that can't lose weight no matter what they do, that feel like they have a slow metabolism, and that might be thinking of trying all those peptides out there, you know, the Beverly Hills soccer mom drug of choice for weight loss peptides. Or even if you're on them already and you're like, man, these are really expensive and I'm still not losing weight, add in Metabolism Fixer. Here's what I did. I took the power of T2, which increases your basal metabolic rate while you are sitting there watching Netflix. You're burning fat while you're watching Netflix. I combined it with a very unique patented ingredient called Suppressa. Suppressa has multiple clinical trials backing its efficacy in reducing your appetite, decreasing snacking, and providing way more control over your food intake. It is amazing. We also see improved emotional well-being, just decreased food cravings all around, reduced hunger, and weight management. Add on top of that, we have green tea extract, we have purple forest purple tea extract, both of which affect the metabolism in a very positive way without the jitters of normal fat burning supplements out there from the 1980s and 90s, right? The ones that made you feel like you're having a heart attack. You will not have that in any of my supplements, Thyroid Fixer or Metabolism Fixer. But Metabolism Fixer, ooh, yeah, we kicked it up a notch. It is in powder form, so you can drink it through your day. It's going to flavor your water. We got orange crush and refreshing citrus. I love them both. It is going to keep you under control all day long. So you throw a couple scoops in your water bottle in the morning, throw a scoop or two in your water bottle throughout the day. You will have fat burning and appetite control the entire day for what? An eighth of a price of the peptides? Oh my God, you can't go wrong. So grab some Metabolism Fixer today. Please let me know how you do on it. I am super excited for you. Super excited. So today we're going to have a nice quick discussion on Metformin and Berberine and what it means for you in your anti-aging protocol. A lot of people who start on Metformin, maybe you were put on Metformin for insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, they experience a lot of loose stools and gas and flatulence, a little bit of nausea. Some people will also experience that with Berberine. Now, Metformin and Berberine work pretty much along the same pathways. They have that same really powerful, impactful effect on insulin and hemoglobin A1C and fasting blood glucose. So if you are insulin resistant, and we see this quite often, about 99% of the time with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, we see insulin resistance. If you're insulin resistant, you need to be on something to lower that insulin, or you will be in a constant fat storage mode. And you will also increase your risk of all age-related disease. So we're finding Metformin and Berberine are very neuroprotective against Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, any neurodegenerative disease states. Very protective on the brain. Now, when we're talking about the gut, we actually have studies out now that show a beneficial effect on gut bacteria, on the gut flora. And this is actually going to tie back into why it's helping you lose weight. It's not just the insulin impact, but it's also the gut microflora impact. So when we're testing something like the GI, when we're testing your stool by the GI map, and I've talked about this in past episodes, and I showed you my results of my GI map, there's something called akkermansia. And akkermansia is very, very important to our metabolism. So when we're finding low akkermansia in people, they are more set up for metabolic dysfunction like insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. So if you're walking around with low akkermansia, you are going to be at a higher risk for weight gain, obesity, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. Now, metformin and berberine, which, by the way, metformin is the most frequently administered medication to treat patients with type 2 diabetes and has the most amount of studies compared to any other medication on the market. Now, we're talking about metformin. Metformin is the prescription. Berberine is the supplement. So when you look at my case study on, we can link that in the show notes, my case study on berberine and a ketogenic diet reversing a patient's insulin-dependent diabetes, we used berberine. Now, he was on metformin as well. So we can find as many studies of berberine and metformin working together synergistically, but this we're just talking about the studies on metformin that can be overlapped into berberine. We also use berberine as a gut healing, part of a gut healing protocol. So that will be part of the gut healing protocol. And here's why. Because it alters the gut microbiota composition through the increase in mucin degrading akkermansia. So berberine we can use if your GI map comes back with low akkermansia, and we know that you need it. It's a biofilm disruptor. We know you need akkermansia to have a good metabolism. We can use berberine to adjust your gut microflora, your gut flora. We can actually increase the akkermansia. So that berberine is going to have a twofold effect. It's going to bring down your insulin and your glucose, lower your A1C, allow your body to be more of a fat burning machine rather than a fat storing machine. And it's also going to increase your akkermansia, which is also going to improve your metabolism. It also has an effect on several short-chain fatty acid microbiota. We need those SCFAs. We need the SCFA-producing bacteria in our gut to also have a good metabolism. The gut microbiota of participants on metformin and berberine has exerted alterations in gut metabolomics. This is the study of how our gut affects our metabolism, with increased ability to produce butyrate and propionate, substances involved in glucose homeostasis. So butyrate is also tied to akkermansia. You never want low butyrate. I'll tell you right here, I have this. I have my little notes written down and it's all covered up. Butyrate promotes mucus production. So a lot of times what we'll see, people that are very low in prebiotics and probiotics in their gut, their butyrate will be low, and thus their akkermansia will be low because akkermansia thrives on mucus. So low akkermansia, lack of mucus, that mucus is important for your intestinal lining. Low akkermansia is highly related to poor digestion. And then your butyrate will be low, which means that your polyphenols will be low, your prebiotic and probiotic amount in your gut, your good gut flora will be low, and your short-chain fatty acids will also be low, and that will actually reduce your immunity. But we're not going to get into that rabbit hole. I want to stick on the topic of your metabolism. So the bottom line is metformin, berberine, we can use this in anti-aging protocols, and I will do more on this because I think it has huge implications moving forward, whether you are dealing with weight that you cannot lose, whether you are just simply in that boat of not wanting to age. If you come from a family like I do of Alzheimer's, and that's the last thing you ever want to go through or put your family through because you've seen it happen, then we need to do things right now to stop that aging process. And if one of them is natural and safe, and we can actually help restore your gut bacteria to a proper beneficial amount, a beneficial balance, then why not use it and get multiple effects from it? So that's why I like berberine. We're going to link in the show notes to the Designs for Health berberine. That's what I used in my case study when I reversed insulin-dependent diabetes. I used that Designs for Health berberine with that patient. And I got to tell you, I mean, I see this all the time in patients that we use berberine. You get a little bit of nausea, a little bit of loose stool in the beginning, some of you. But if that is the case, you can't just stop. You can't just say, I can't do it, because what that is telling you is that your gut is messed up and things are starting to balance. So that's one of those signs and symptoms that you want to push through. It's not a sign that you can't take it. It is a sign that your GI tract is a disaster. So if you do take berberine and you get that nausea and loose stool, you probably want to do a GI map, because we probably want to see what your balance is, what's going on in there. Is there any, E. coli, C. diff, H. pylori, candida? Is there anything hanging out that needs to be addressed? Or you just got to keep pushing through the berberine, keep using it, push through that GI distress, because you are rebalancing your gut flora and you're actually helping your metabolism by increasing the Akkermansia. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, please share this episode and check out the entire Thyroid Fixer podcast on all podcast platforms. If you're on iTunes, it would be awesome if you left me a review. And just a reminder, anything you hear on this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat, so you always want to check with your doctor about any advice given on this podcast. And if you'd like to schedule a discovery call, please refer to the show notes for all the links. Everything that we talked about in the podcast will be in there with a guide for you on how you can get your life back. Let's get you fixed.